Hello, boys and girls. I am Ms. Moran, and welcome back to your math lesson. This week, we're going to be reviewing addition. I don't know if you remember it. We looked at it a while back, but today we're going to, or all of this week, we're going to be adding. So, last time we concentrated a lot on the addition sentences. So this, like right here, 1 + 3 = 4. We concentrated in writing and recognizing an addition sentence. But this week, we're actually going to concentrate more in word problems. So, word problems is when somebody tells you the problem, gives you information, and then you add the information that they give you. So, they're going to give you numbers and you're going to add them. Okay, so for this week, you really have to listen and pay attention so that you know what you need to add. An example of a word problem is if you look down here, over here where the fishes are, a word problem will be something like this. There was one fish in the pond, then 3 more joined them. How many fish in all? So if there was one fish and then 3 more joined them, how many do I have more? Or how many fish I have in all? So in order for you to get that answer, you have to count, right? You have to do 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, there's 4 fish. Okay, so it's going to be word problems today. And like I told you, you have to really pay attention for word problems. You have to listen. Here are some words that are going to give you a clue that we're going to be adding. Okay, this is very important because next week we're going to do subtraction. So, but today's addition. Addition is when we add everything together. So some of those words are when you hear all together, that means we're going to be adding. So if you hear, I have 1 dog and then I got 2 more, how many do I have all together? So that's telling you that you need to count all of your fingers to figure out how many you have. Okay? Or the word join. So if we say there's 2 butterflies and then 2 more join them, how many do I have or how many butterflies are there? So join means that you're going to add all of them together to find out. Okay, so you have 2 here and 2 here. So that's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 butterflies, right? Another word that tells you that you're going to be adding is when you hear the word in all. So I have 3 pencils and then my teacher gives me 2 more. How many pencils do I have in all? So when you're here in all, that means that you're going to count everything together and that's going to give you your answer. So 3 and 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I have 5 pencils in all. Okay. Another word would be more. So if I say I have 3 grapes and then I get 2 more, how many do I have in total? More will mean that you're adding again. So we're going to have to count them all together. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I have 5 grapes. Okay. And also the other word will be add. So if I say I have 1 ball and then I add another ball, how many balls do I have? Well, I have 1 and 2. I have 2 balls because I'm adding them together. I'm counting them all together. Okay. And another one, of course, is the plus sign. Remember, this is the plus sign. That's the name of that sign. And whenever we see that plus sign, it means we're going to add. But today, we're not going to worry so much about the number sentences. We're going to be listening to the word problems in order to be able to add and get an answer. Okay? So let's do a couple activities and then we'll talk about your homework. Let's get started. Okay, so for today's activity, we're doing word problems like I told you before. So we have to pay very close attention to the word problem. This up here is the word problem, okay? And so I'm going to read it to you. This word problem says, I made 1 hamburger, then I made 1 more. How many hamburgers do I have in all? So I wrote in red the numbers that we're going to be adding. So we're going to be adding 1 and 1. And in all is also in red because in all, how many do I have in all tells me that I have to add them or count them all together. So right here, this is called a 5 frame. This is called a 5 frame because it has 5 squares. I know we've seen the 10 frame before, but today we're going to be working with the 5 frame. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And when we're working with a 5 frame, um, we're going to be using these little hamburgers to move them in the square. When we're moving the squares, we can only put one hamburger per square. We can't put two in one square. No, we have to put only one, all right? And then for our answer over here, it says I have blank hamburgers. And this line or this blank is where we have to put a number. So it could be I have 0 hamburgers, 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5. But I don't know yet because I haven't added. So I'm going to read that word problem again, listen to it carefully, and then we're going to start moving our hamburgers. I made one hamburger. Okay, so I made one hamburger. I'm going to put one hamburger up here. Then I made one more. So now I'm going to grab another hamburger and I'm going to put it here. How many hamburgers do I have in all? So now I have to count the hamburgers that I have on the 5 frame. I'm not going to count all of them. Oh, like the ones in here and then the ones over here. No. Or I'm not going to count these ones either. I'm only going to count the ones that are inside the 5 frame. Okay, so let's count. 1 and 2. So I have 2 hamburgers. Okay, so now we have to go down here and look for number 2. Is this number 2? No, that's number 0. Is that number 2? Nope, that's number 1. Is this number 2? Yep. So I'm going to grab number 2 and I'm going to put it right here, right on the blank. So now it says I have 2 hamburgers. Okay? So now I have added or counted all together the hamburgers to get my answer. And I have 2 hamburgers. Okay? Good job. Let's go to our second problem for today. I'm going to read the word problem. Remember, we're going to be moving these hamburgers up to the 5 frame, and then we're going to count them, the ones on the 5 frame only, not the ones down here. Okay? So the problem says, I made 2 hamburgers, then I made 3 more. How many hamburgers do I have in all? And here I helped you. I I colored the number 2 red and the number 3 red because that's what we're going to be adding. And I also colored in all. How many hamburgers do I have in all? Because that gives me the clue that I am adding. I'm going to count them all together. All right? So let me read it again. And as I'm reading it, I'm going to move the hamburgers up to the 5 frame. I made 2 hamburgers. So we're going to say 1 and 2. There are my 2 hamburgers. Then I made 3 more. So now that means I have to add 3 more. You're not going to do 1, 2, and then put another 1, 3. No, that would be wrong. I have to add 3 separate ones. So let's move them. 1, 2, and 3. Okay. And so I filled up my 5 frame. So if I filled up my 5 frames, how many hamburgers do you think I have? It'll be 5, right? But let's count it just to make sure. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yes, so my answer is 5. So now let's look for number 5. Is this number 5? Nope, that's number 0. Is this number 5? Nope, that's number 1. Is this number 5? No, it's number 2. Some people confuse the number 5 with that one, but it's a number 2. Is this number 5? Nope, that's number 3. Is this number 5? Nope, that's number 4. Is this number 5? Yes. So we're going to grab that 5 and we're going to put it right here. And now it says, I have 5 hamburgers. And they're right here. Okay? All right. So now let's talk about your homework. Your homework is going to be very similar to what we just did. Okay, for today's homework, remember, we're going to be listening to a word problem. And then we're going to be, these problems are going to be about hamburgers. These hamburgers right here, you can move them, okay? You can move them up here to the 5 frames. Okay, we've talked about 10 frames. This right here is a 5 frame because there's only 5 squares. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And remember, when you're moving the hamburgers, you can only put one hamburger per square. You can't put two hamburgers in one square. So up here, I have the word problem. Remember, your mom or whoever's working with you can read it for you, or you can click right here, push play, and then I have recorded the question so you can hear me read it for you. So let's read this one. I'm going to read it for you. It says here, I made one hamburger, then I made two more. How many hamburgers do I have in all? So, first, how many hamburgers did I have? Do you remember? One. I had one hamburger. So I'm going to move that hamburger up here. And I'm going to read it again. I made one hamburger, which is right here. Then I made two more. So then you're going to grab two more hamburgers. You're going to put one here and one here. And then it says, how many do I have in all? So then when you have all the hamburgers up here, the first one and then the other two, you're going to count how many you have. And once you count, these numbers, you can move them. It says here, I have blank hamburgers. So on this blank, you're going to put your answer. So if it was 0 hamburgers, you're going to put the 0 here. If it was 1 hamburger, you're going to put the 1 here. Or if it was 2, you're going to put it here. Okay? So remember, you have to move the hamburgers depending on what your word problem says, and then you have to put your answer right here. Okay? Same thing for this one. Okay, so the word problem is I made 2 hamburgers, then I made 2 more. How many hamburgers do I have in all? So you have to move the hamburgers up here and then the number, which is the answer, over here. Okay? So I hope you enjoyed today's lesson, and I'll see you here tomorrow. Bye.